Okay, so I think we're going live here. Let me see here. Okay, so this is our first live stream, and unfortunately, we are not doing this the way we thought. So I'm going to tell everybody that we're going live stream. Julie, hold this while I go type here. You can talk to them.
Hi, is anyone there?
No. We are doing...
You see me, that's fantastic. I see that, fantastic. Give us just a second here. Hi back to you from Canada.
Let's see. Hi everybody. I'm going to apologize that we didn't get this going the right way. Okay, look for them. Let me see. We still have 11 people viewing the other link.
Okay.
Julie, see if you can find our link over here.
All right.
The new one.
And where do I look?
Yeah, we're doing this a different way than we had anticipated. So we were going to use our computer, and now we are going to unfortunately have to use the phone and a tripod. So you get to see a little bit of our Airbnb. This is outside here in Ukraine, by the way. We got a beautiful location. I hope that that's coming through okay for you guys.
I don't see
And
a
let
new
me,
link.
Hold on. Excuse the view of my shirt while we get the tripod set up. Okay. So we have this here. And let us get the new information over here.
Yay, we made it.
Okay, good. Some of you guys are making it over here.
That's great.
Are you, let me see if we can find the live stream over here now. I think it's gonna be easier for me to see the comments when they come in if I put you on my other computer too, instead of looking at the phone. Technology, this is what happens. We're not professionals at this. We are total goofballs that somehow are...
I thought he was 100% ready, and I think he thought he was 100%
I had
ready.
no clue. Okay, so let me make sure I have volume off over here so I am not gonna... be
Oh,
listening to
Marshall,
myself.
wonderful. Thank you. Coming in loud and clear.
Super. Okay, so we've got our comments over here. And, okay, so we got Mohammed, Razika, Jane.
It's working all that matters. Great job. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get this going.
Yeah. We did not know this was going to be so complicated to set up. Apparently, when you try to live stream through your computer, and it's got all this information, makes it look simple. You press this go live, supposedly. Well, that go live was never lighting up for us to press it.
Correct.
And there's a bunch of other information that I guess we need to paste into streaming software, and we have no idea where our streaming software is. We figured YouTube's going to connect to our computer, and we were going to be good to go. And
That's okay. Next time we'll be better prepared. Maybe we'll have somebody who can give us some good pointers.
Yes. So you don't see these often in the videos, but I unfortunately am at that age where I do need some glasses sometimes to read, especially when I'm looking at this small font that YouTube gives me over here. Let me see if I can blow this up at all. Hey, look at that. I can blow that up.
That's perfect. So
Okay.
thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I'm sorry, for
It's
us
tonight.
it's tonight.
Yes. It's 8:15. We're off to a later start. And thank you for bearing with our technological challenges.
Yeah.
and I hope we didn't lose anybody.
Yeah. So let's begin. We're in Ukraine. It's 8:15, and we're loving it here. So if you have questions, let's start.
Yeah. And as a reminder, this is kind of a hobby for us. It's not our job.
Really?
So we are just trying to travel and live our dream and share everything with you as we go. So, you know, a little backstory for those of you that are newer to our channel. Julie and I, we worked for many years trying to get to the point to where we could retire early. So I retired technically a week before my birthday at 51, so almost 52 years old. And we've been retired since March of 2020.
Yep.
And went to Ecuador for almost 10 months for lockdown over there. And we made some great friends. Some of them are on here today, which is fantastic. Good to see some of them coming from Ecuador to see us.
And look at Marshall. Remember, you are retired. Well, let's address Glenn. How would we compare Lviv to Novi Sad? You know.
Okay, let me say, we are in Lviv because a lot of you viewers told us that we needed to go check it out when we were in Novi Sad. That, we got, can you text Durga, let her know to
How do I do this? What do I do?
just go to your Facebook. She sent you a Facebook messenger. Okay. Sorry, guys. So we heard from a lot of our viewers when we were in Novi Sad that we needed to go and check out Lviv. And really, we feel like we're somewhat astute about different places in the world. We really weren't that familiar with Lviv, so we started doing a little research, and we couldn't believe what we were seeing when we were looking at the pictures, and from what some of the viewers were telling us, the reasons we need to go check out the city. So we came here, and it really did blow us away, and the quality of life here is fantastic.
Sure is.
I will say that our Ukraine videos don't seem to be getting much traction. Serbia seems to be very popular. But hopefully we can get some folks to look at Ukraine because we really do enjoy this country. It's really surprised us. The cost of living is amazingly low.
Oh my gosh, I'm ready to buy a flat. I promise you. It's like, I love it here. The city is magical. I mean, you walk out at night and it's like, it's amazing. I can't even begin to tell you how exciting it is. It's like a Tuesday night and you get out and it's a party. And it's, there'll be people dancing with fire or, I mean, just fun things all the time. So for me, Novi Sad and Lviv, I put them both in the same place, Glenn. They have different thoughts, I mean, different ideas, but like the restaurants are both, with both cities, fantastic. The walkability, both cities, fantastic. The livability factor, walking, anything to do with cost of living, I put them in the same bucket.
Well, I did a little research now after getting all flustered with not getting our live stream going. I just threw some numbers together because we're going to actually work on a video for our 5 favorite places, or I shouldn't say 5 countries to consider for retirement or to go live as a nomad or an expat, and to be able to do it comfortably for under $1,500. And we did some comparisons to some U.S. Cities for Cuenca, Novi Sad, Kotor, and Montenegro. Novi Sad is Serbia, for those of you that haven't seen the Serbian videos, Lviv, and then Varna. And, you know, just real quickly.
Varna, Bulgaria.
I did comparisons to Miami, Denver, and Jackson, Mississippi. So you had kind of a higher location, mid-price, and then a low cost of living. So just in comparison to low cost of living, if you were in Lviv and you made $24,000 a year in Social Security, it would be equal to $59,000 in Jackson, Mississippi, or $79,000 in Miami. Cuenca, $24,000 would be equal to almost $53,000 in Jackson, Mississippi, and $71,000 in Miami. Novi Sad, 24,000 there, would be like 50,000 in Jackson, Mississippi, or 67,000 in Miami. Varna, you're looking at almost $50,000 in value, and 60 in Jackson, Mississippi, and then 67,000 in Miami. So Varna, Bulgaria is very affordable. Then when we look at Kotor, Montenegro, where we own a little home, that 24,000 is worth almost 47,000 in comparison to Jackson, Mississippi, and 63,000 in Miami. So the dollars go so much further in some of the places we're going, and we're hoping, and part of the reason we're sharing our travels with everybody is that we want to inspire people not to have to work till they're ready to drop dead, that you may be able to retire earlier and more comfortably by with less income than maybe what you thought. Maybe you don't need to
Thinking
save for
outside the
$2 million
box.
in your retirement accounts to be able to retire, that maybe you can actually do it with $500,000 if you're able to get 4 or 5% in out each year.
So we have a lot of questions coming in and different things. So let's start. Marcel, what are the steps we follow to get residency through purchasing a property? Honestly, we don't have residency at this point. There is a reason for that. You have to spend 11 months a year in Montenegro if you, and that's minimally, every single year to retain residency. If you go through a corporation, if you purchase or form a corporation, you have a little bit more leniency, but that's pretty complicated. If you watch our residency video, it gives you a little bit more information, and it gives you a person to contact to get a lot more information beyond that. So at this point, we do not have a residency there. I know there were a few other people.
So, and with Kotor, Montenegro, let me just go ahead and drop a little bit of a bombshell here. We unexpectedly had an offer for our home in Kotor, Montenegro. And we stupidly, after we said no the first time, no the second time, we said okay the third time. And we loved our little home. This was our place that we've looked at since 2016, that we bought it to inspire us to get to our point to retire.
Yes.
And it's a little bit small having Arya. You've seen our bigger dogs. So we ended up selling our home in Kotor, Montenegro. However, this being said, we are going to be going back to Kotor, Montenegro, and we will be looking for a new home. So we will actually be doing some house hunting probably in Montenegro that will show up in a future video, and we'll actually be looking for something for ourselves. We're trying to look at the old town potentially in Kotor, but we are considering some other outside the box ideas. So stay tuned on that one.
Yeah, we don't even know what we're doing yet.
Yes.
What was our retirement plan when we first started? Our retirement plan was that our kids were still in the United States, and we wanted to be somewhat close, and a 4.5-hour plane ride got us back from Cuenca, Ecuador to Fort Lauderdale. So we decided that was great for us for a year. We had planned some side trips through South America, and those, due to COVID, were all scrapped. But you know what? It was great because we made so many friendships, and we have a lot of great memories from there. As far as will it be a party tonight with all the rain? You know what? The rain stopped.
Chinaman is here locally, so he's a new expat. He made a comment earlier today. Okay. So nice to have you here, Chinaman.
Thank you.
And I see so many familiar faces in here. Jane is in there. Tingles. And then you got Alex. That's our son. You got Jane. You got Nick. Marcel. El Terrifico. He's been having a lot of problems with making comments. I don't know why. We love your comments. We are not shutting you down. That's an unknown reason, but it's good to have you here. And yes, that's the bombshell. We're on the run from Interpol. And but we
will we be visiting Odessa? That's a question.
Not this year. But our plan. And I know a lot of you are familiar with the Schengen zone that have been following us. 26 countries make up the Schengen zone, and you can only be in that zone for 90 days every 180 days. So that's a whole lot of Europe. If you look at the countries we're going in, most of them are not Schengen. And these are the countries that if you wanted to split time between a location and not have residency, like you wanted to live in Italy or you want to live in France for 90-day spurts, you could go there for 90 days, then come to one of the countries we've been exploring for 90 days for low cost of living, then go have an expensive time in Paris or somewhere else or Berlin, and then come over and hang out in Varna or hang out in Kotor, Montenegro. And you can go back and forth, do 90 days there, 90 days there, and you can have your European lifestyle, or you can choose to set your flag down on one of these locations where, I mean, we're doing the traveling, running around, and we are maybe spending a little over $3,000 a month, and we're doing over 1,000 in Airbnbs every month.
Yeah.
And we're living quite extravagantly compared to most
Yes.
people, and we're so far below our budget, and we're traveling and hopscotching around. If we were to just sit still in one of these countries, we're looking at probably living on less than 2,000.
Yes.
Easily.
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 I want to make sure we're looking at this. Somebody was asking about how the winters are. I believe they wanted to know about Ecuador. You know what? Ecuador doesn't change a whole lot, and I miss the weather. I love that cool weather. Our friend Marshall can tell you that weather is fantastic. There is some rain, there is some clouds, but it's wonderful, Jane. So if that's what you were asking, if you're asking about Ecuador, that's your answer. I would certainly tell you, don't hesitate to think that the winters there are too bad.
Well, and it really depends on where you want to be in Ecuador. You can dial up any weather you want by the altitude and the
Correct.
mountains. So if you want to be steamy hot all year on the coast, you've got that. And if you want to be in a dry desert area, you go to Vilcabamba. If you want to be in the rainforest, you go to Mindo. If you want to be what's called Eternal Spring, you go to Cuenca, Ecuador. Cotacachi's got a little bit of different vibe and a little bit drier temp. They're a little bit hotter. Then you've got the back part where the Amazon is. And if you haven't looked at our Ecuador videos, you can see Julie and I climb volcanoes. We went up to 16,000 feet. We've
Yes.
been in the Amazon jungle. We explored all parts of Ecuador. We like Ecuador a lot.
Yes.
But we're probably not going to be going back for a very long time because we have dogs and the flying with them can be a real
Yeah.
pain in the butt. So we've got the dogs over here in Europe. So we're going to stay in Europe for quite a while because it's just easier. But we loved our time in Cuenca, Ecuador. That was a great place to be stuck due to COVID.
I want to address Jim Jensen here. All right, you have a reluctant spouse about international locations. I'm going to tell you, language barriers are out there. It is challenging, but you know what? It actually is a little fun at the same time because you learn charades, you learn different ways to do things, and you do Google Translate. And frankly, Warren and I do not know Ukrainian, Serbian, or Croatian. We are considering trying to learn some Croatian, especially.
I barely speak English. Come on.
So to be honest with you, we don't know other languages. I was starting to pick up some Spanish, but and that's a far easier language than this stuff. Cyrillic language is very tough. So a reluctant spouse, tell them to just seize the day. That it's worth it. It is worth thinking outside the box. I'm a retired military and a VA disabled veteran. You know what? If you want to travel full time, it does get expensive. And the reason being is Airbnbs are expensive. Yes, you can find some sometimes in the 500 range. More often than not, you're going to pay pretty high. If you're willing to do a month at a shot, you will sometimes get a 50% discount. I have noticed in Ukraine that is not something you see. You do not see a 50% discount. You might see 10%. But if, there are a few ways around some of this. You start to establish getting the maybe 2 days, and then you maybe try and talk to the owner if you really like the place, and then maybe you can get a little bit better deal. But
well, here's the thing, Michael. If you wanted to come over to Europe and travel like Julie and I, you may be able to do it for less, to be honest, because we are very particular on what we're taking in an Airbnb. We need a washer. We need air conditioning. We need it to be pet friendly. We need a parking space. We have so many prerequisites that by the
It's
time we
true.
go from 1,000 available properties, we have it whittled down to about 40. And so if you're willing to not have all of the needs we have, you could probably get an Airbnb where we might be paying
That's
$1,200 a
correct.
month. You might be happy with something that's going to be $500 a month. So I don't know what your VA disability amount is. I would tell you, you can go and plant your flag in any of these countries we've been at this year and live there for $1,500 or less.
Definitely.
Some of them $1,000 or less.
Definitely.
So I don't want to discourage you.
No.
You might want to come and get residency somewhere and then make some side trips as you can. I understand from Lviv, when COVID's not an issue, there's a $10 bus ride to get to Krakow
Yeah.
from here. So I mean, you can do
Well,
traveling.
and he brought up a great point, guys, about Airbnb. With us, let's say we start with 300 listings. By the time it's said and done, you put pets into that, 65% of them are gone. So that right there makes a huge difference. Moving on, what did we do before before retirement? We both worked. We both lived in Florida, and he learned the stock market. So,
Well, let me preach a little bit here, okay? First off, I did make a very good living, but for years before we retired, about a decade, we lived below our means. We put money into an early retirement account as well as our regular retirement account. So we have a bunch of money we can't touch till we're 59 and a half, but we had money that we had in other stocks and other accounts so that we had money to have available, not just money that's in assets as far as being in a house, but we had stocks and investments. And I would just tell anybody that if you want to retire early, pay yourself into an early retirement fund and don't put it in somebody else's hands to manage. I'm going to ask, if you're a sports fan, if you consider how much time you spend watching ESPN and sports and knowing about the coaches and the players. If you took half of that time of passion and put it into watching CNBC, the business news, and following the stocks, and then you put together your little stock portfolio like a fantasy football team, and you have your hot new rookies that might be coming in like an IPO, then you have your veteran stocks out there that are going to be solid, and you rotate them out, and you get as excited about watching that green ticker coming through as you do if your team won the night before. You're going to get rich and you're going to be retiring early. But if you don't take charge and put that money aside, nothing wrong with waiting to retire at 69 or later, whatever it is. But if you're young enough to spend 5 or 10 years of putting money aside and learning how to invest, you'll be able to retire sooner than you might think, especially if you're looking at some of these countries where maybe you can retire on $500,000 or $600,000 because you can live on $24,000 a year,
Right.
or even $18,000 a year in some cases. So it's up to you on how long you want to work. And if you put this into somebody else's hands to invest, you're going to make 9 or 10% a year, and that's great when you're collecting dividends when you're retired. But when you're trying to get rich, if you can get, or if you want to get to where you can retire early, you want to see 30-40% returns, which the only way to do that is to start getting in front of what's happening and understanding how dominoes may fall when there's different news events. And that's why we're retired early, is because we took charge of our investments.
yes. Okay, so we have quite a few people here. I'm glad your spouse is now not reluctant and she is ready to do all kinds of stuff. Greetings from Florida. Hey. And as far as veterinarians, I'm assuming that's what you're asking
vets
about
vets in Montenegro.
We didn't have any issues. Google Translate, fantastic. And you know what? Montenegro, because so many people from so many places in the world are moving there and immigrating there, these people are learning English. So we had no issues. We had to get international health certificates, which is a challenge. That was before our EU pet passports. And it did not go badly. Jane, you asked about Montenegro winters. They're fantastic.
Yeah, it's mild. Think
Very
about
mild.
what you might see in Rome. It's going to probably maybe, and actually let's talk, it's on the coast. On the coastal part, because you have mountains and you're going to have snow and ski resorts. So we're talking on the coast. Think about the type of weather you might have in the Rome area or around Rimini or somewhere in that area of central Italy. that's going to be somewhat similar weather. You may occasionally see some snow, but it's not going to be very often.
It's rare.
And so you have
Up
more of a
close.
mild winter. And Chinaman, I saw something there about, did we ever look at crypto? Actually, yes, and actually made some money on it. Currently don't have much in there. I got some in GBTC on the side, but that's a very small part of my speculative portfolio. But yeah, I did make a pretty good amount from there at one point. Let's see, Marshall and Nadine, what did you say there? It was moving. Retiring abroad as a strategy for wealth management is something that no one discusses. You know, it's absolutely true. I mean, when you are retired and you are able to let the majority of your funds continue to appreciate and you're never touching that principal, your retirement will continue to grow. So even when you retire, if you're getting a 10% return, but you're only living on 4% of that, and you get to have that appreciation year over year, that gives you a more secure retirement in the future too. So even if you have a large amount of money where you can go and afford a $70,000, $80,000 a year retirement and live in the United States and have everything you want, if you went to some of these other countries, that just gives you more money to compound every year.
Right, right. And Marshall and Nadine retiring abroad, absolutely. We're right with you. We miss you guys. It was so much fun all the time. But yes, it is the best thing to do. It's thinking outside the box, and we have a blast. And honestly, you know, settling down in the future for us, we could see staying in so many of these countries. Hi from hi to California.
We got Vicky in there. Vicky, it's you and your husband that are going to be renting our place in Montenegro.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys. Let's see.
Alex with Safe Moon. Okay.
Oh, Alex. Love you, buddy. That's my son. So, Safe Moon is a crypto.
Yep.
Let's see.
Sounds too cold for a native Floridian like me. Well, Glenn, let me tell you what. I've gotten to a point I hate heat with a passion, and I was born in Louisiana, lived in California, lived all over the place, but honestly spent a lot of time in Florida, and I don't think I could do the heat and humidity anymore. I'm loving being in Europe, minus the fact that today was 92 feels like. So let's
Are we going
see.
to invest in real estate in Bulgaria? I'm going to tell you what. We've seen so many great places where we'd love to own a home, and we've thought about, I mean, when we're there, we're looking at properties and thinking, oh, we could live here. If I had a whole lot more, we're doing fine. But I would love to have a home in all of these places. So at this point, we're just going to be content to maybe revisit some of them and do some Airbnbs, but we're not looking at buying in Bulgaria right now. We do have a corporation in Bulgaria that we started so we can register a car. So in case you missed that video, we're driving around Europe without residency. And because we don't have residency, you can't just go out and have a vehicle as an American, so we have to be creative. So we opened a corporation in Bulgaria.
Yep.
So if you want to do like us and travel around and have a car,
Which we love.
Yeah, go check out the Bulgaria, our video about buying a car in Europe, and then you can register a car under your corporation, and then you can drive around Europe as officers of your corporation. Now the caveat to this is once a year we have to go back to Bulgaria and have them do an inspection on the vehicle, make sure it's roadworthy, and get a new sticker, and then we're good to go. So once a year, we have to go to Bulgaria.
Guys, give us 1 second. Durga cannot connect. She can't figure out where to find that link. Don't know if there's anything. Let's start. Okay, so great. You're starting in Ecuador. A great place to start. And let's see, Ukraine weather is wonderful in the spring and summer. Winter is cold. Yes. That is why Warren is reluctant to think real estate here. Lviv, I have fallen in love with, but he is a little concerned about that cold. And, you know, there are parts of Turkey I would love to see as well. Banking in Montenegro, honestly, we have a bank account there. It is not a commercial account. It's just a regular personal account. We've had it for 5 years. We had to have help to start it, so I don't have a lot of answers there.
We had an attorney when we bought
Yes.
our home there. The attorney helped us set up the bank account, so we were able to to do that.
What documents did we require to purchase the property? We required cash and passports. We showed our driver's licenses, and that's about it. And we, like he said, we used an attorney, we used a translator, we used a real estate agent, and we also used a notary.
Yeah, if you're looking at Montenegro, and we've got a real estate friend there. Peter has done a couple of videos with us, but also there's some really good real estate people in Montenegro besides Peter, which Montenegro Prospects was who we bought our property through 5 years ago, and they're the ones that actually sold our place or found a buyer. And you know, my son asked us, since we didn't want to sell and we're kind of upset that we sold, like, why did we sell? We're stupid like that.
We almost pulled out of it, to be honest with you, several times. We've had to really push through with this. Jane, do we keep funds in the U.S.? Yes, we do. We have continued to keep our same accounts. Vicky, fantastic. We're looking forward to seeing you guys. Linda, now on, fantastic.
Let me go back to Jane real quickly. Do we keep funds in the U.S.? Let me just tell you how we do this. So if you're going overseas, how you can maybe minimize some of the exchange rate fees that you might encounter. So we have our U.S. checking account, and then we have and that's with Chase, and then we have the Capital One account, correct? That we transfer the money to the Capital One 360.
Yes.
So when we go to the ATM, we use the Capital One 360 card.
Correct.
And we just put enough over to that account for what we think we're going to need for ATM withdrawals. And they don't charge foreign transaction costs for changing the monies over, and they don't charge us an ATM fee. So that's the easy way for us to get cash.
Correct.
And then for credit cards, we primarily use our Chase Sapphire, and they don't charge foreign transaction fees either. So we very rarely get hit with any kind of major hit from going from dollars into another currency.
Okay, Michael, I have no idea about women to men ratio. Mark, yes, definitely. I cannot do these hot summers anymore.
Let me, Michael, actually, you're going by Michael too quickly. He's asking about women. He's single. It's an important topic. I will tell you, and nothing against American ladies out there or whatever. There's a lot of beautiful, smart, intelligent. I don't want to just make it sound like it's about looks. There's plenty of females in these countries and of all ages.
Oh, definitely.
So
They're all beautiful.
Yeah. So if you're single and coming over to Europe, or if you're going to Ecuador, you probably don't need to worry too much about being lonely if you're out there looking for somebody. So.
And Mark, as far as you're talking about hot summers, I keep telling Warren we're going to have to head to Bilbao, Spain next summer because I got to get the heck out of the heat. As a Serbian American 30-year-old who's still building a career, do you recommend working remotely? If you can make the kind of money, if you can make enough money doing it, absolutely. I see no reason not. The suggestions on taxes, limitations, taxes are 9%, I believe. But guys, we need to look into that. We've looked at so many countries.
Yeah, well, for your question there, Nick, check in with Julia from our residency video from Montenegro on any kind of tax ramification. But I will tell you, if you can get an American wage and live in any of the countries we've been in this year, you're going to do well.
Oh, golden. Is Montenegro vegan friendly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think anywhere can be vegan friendly. Restaurants, if you would ask them not to put the cheese on something, you can tell them you're vegan. People work with you. I haven't found anywhere that we've gone that we haven't been able to find something to eat vegetarian, if we wanted vegan, if we do eat fish.
For those of you that are maybe unaware, and I know sometimes we're asked about, hey, give us the cost of steak or hamburger or different things. We'll show you menus and I'll show you some stuff in the restaurants. But I am a pescatarian. In the States, I was mostly vegetarian, but since I've been on the road, we eat some fish. But we, for the most part, we're vegetarian. So that's, whether or not anybody's picked up on that or hasn't. I know we've mentioned it a few times, but we will try to provide all kinds of information for everybody, but you know, we primarily will be showing you a lot of times we're eating salads, or sometimes we'll have
Yep.
a fish dish or something, and
Exactly.
that's kind of the reason why. But we'll try to show you some menu items and some other things
So,
from guests. or friends.
Mohammed, can you have and drive a car registered by a family member who's a citizen in Europe? It's going to depend on insurance. You would have to check with the insurance company. I do know that some people have been able to use other people's addresses to get a car, like, you know, if they have a friend in the UK or something. The insurance is the big deal. Stephen, let's see. Thanks for the answer. Thanks, guys. Why are we not considering Albania? You know what? Albania's a nice place. It just isn't what we're looking for. We love Montenegro, and
When we're looking at these countries over here in Europe, now in South America, you know, there's some really nice and pretty places, some developing places, and you know, Cuenca is more developed than a lot of places in Central or South America, and it's got a lot to offer. But over here in Europe, you can get a really good quality of life in a first class type of environment where you have some very high standards, high qualities, and not at an extremely high price in the Balkans and Eastern Europe. But in Albania, you know, it's just not up to the standards of the other countries for the difference in the cost. And you know, we've been to Albania. We visited there during our pre-YouTube days, and it's just not a country that we're eager to rush back into. We'll probably pass through on our way somewhere else, like to Greece or something at some point. But it's, you know, kind of we went there, and that's kind of what we'll leave it at that.
top 5 places for $1,500 or less a month, Lauren. Well, we have
We're gonna do a video. And we're, you know, we're gonna do Warren and Julie's top 15 country or 5 countries
Top 5,
and places to go. But you know, we're looking on YouTube, and some of these channels, like, oh, the top 10 places to retire, the top overseas, or this or that.
Yes.
They don't tell you whether or not you can actually even get in there as an American, or what kind of residency issues they have.
They're computer generated.
They just assume that everybody can go into any country and get Schengen status. And they'll throw out these $250,000, $500,000 or euro golden visa things. So our top 5 countries with places that you can go, it's with a $1,500 budget, and you can live a first class life. And just real quickly for a preview, we're going to give Ecuador with Cuenca, Ecuador. We're going to give Novi Sad in Serbia, Kotor area, Tabat Budva, Herceg-Novi in Montenegro, Lviv here in Ukraine. We haven't been to Kiev or Odessa, so we're not knocking them.
Correct.
And we're not knocking Belgrade, but we love Novi Sad so much in Serbia.
We spent the time there.
And then, you know, Plovdiv is okay, and so is Veliko Tarnovo in Bulgaria. We liked Varna probably best out of all of them. You know, we want to go spend some more time in Sofia, but we liked Varna.
He's a beach guy, guys. So
Well, yeah, the Black Sea was kind of surprising to see what that looked like. And when we went there, I was looking, just thinking in the old days when I was a young kid about what the Black Sea would be like, and it was so different. And I can see living in Varna.
And thank you, Stephen. We appreciate everybody. IMG Global. So we started IMG Global January 29th when we hit European soil. We have not used it. Just a quick disclaimer there.
Yeah, we have the policies, but we haven't had to use them.
For the 2 of us, it's $185 a month.
Oh, and Wyatt's here. Wyatt, hey buddy. As far as the I Am Global stuff, real quickly, because Julie said something, just so you are aware, because in my previous life, I'm a licensed health life agent, and so Julie is not affiliated with I Am Global. I would make a commission, not Julie. I just want to make clear that she is not, she's not licensed, so I'm the appointed agent there. But if you go to the website, the link that we have, if you're looking for insurance for, if you're going to live abroad, there's a lot of different programs, policies. If you're a missionary going long-term, short-term on travel, if you do anything there, it's we will get or I will get a commission, not we, but she gets to get part of my money anyway. But it's, I kept referring people over there, so I finally figured, you know what, I might as well get appointed with them, even though I'm retired. So it's, if you want to help a brother out by doing our insurance, that's cool. If not, find the best one for you, and I'm okay with that.
And Jed, thank you. Hello from LA to Krakow.
Hey, Jed's out there, huh?
All right, so we have more coming in.
Okay, let's see.
Trying to keep up, guys. Warren can talk a little longer here. Let's see. Greetings from Poland. Yay. Big problem for us. Too many great places to live. Amen to that. I agree with you. That's our biggest thing. Is it true that travel is half price for senior citizens Ecuador? Jane, I'm going to call upon Marshall to tell us that because I don't know that.
What was the question?
Is it true that travel out of Ecuador is half price for senior citizens?
I haven't heard that.
I have not heard it, so I can't give you that answer. Just want to say you two are awesome. Oh, thanks, Michael. We appreciate that.
Oh, you know what you're probably thinking, not travel out of Ecuador. On some of the things like the tramvaya or the buses, you get a reduced price if you're traveling inside the country.
Yes.
If you're looking at, hey, you get cheaper airline tickets, I do not believe there's that would be the case in Ecuador.
And we appreciate you, Michael. Thank you. Lauren, Odessa, we actually had been planning to do Odessa, and then I begged Warren for Lviv because I had to see this city. But we do intend to do Odessa. It just won't be this year. I was in Belgrade and Novi Sad, very relaxed. Yes, you know what? I don't concern myself with COVID. Frankly, Warren has had COVID. I don't get concerned about it, and so no, we practice what we're supposed to. We're careful, but we don't even get on public transport at this point because we own our car. So
we can't even get a vaccination if we want one, and without being a resident somewhere, there's nobody offering tourists a vaccine. So. I'm unvaccinated, Julie's unvaccinated, we have to do PCR tests when we're crossing borders and going places. And part of the reason, and I don't know if we've touched on this yet, I think it was something we're gonna touch on, and we got stuck on this fiasco of trying to get the live stream going and switching over to this live stream so we can get the conversation rolling. But we were going to go to Romania, actually we're gonna go to Poland after Ukraine. But because we're not vaccinated, if we went there, we were looking at, I think, a 10-day quarantine.
correct.
And so we were going to then go to Romania, and Romania, as of the latest news, looked like we were going to have a quarantine there because we're not vaccinated. So we're going to leave here, and we're going to be going to Serbia for a little while. We're going to go and stop in Subotica for a day, then go to Zlatibor, where we stayed a little bit in winter and we're locked down, and we were there for a week. So we're going to go there and spend 2 weeks in Zlatibor.
Yep.
We're going to go to Zlatibor for 2 weeks in Serbia up in the mountains and see what that place is like. Julie loved it, and we had a nice time there for what we could do being locked down. You've seen the video potentially of our time there. And then we're going to go to Montenegro.
Yep.
We're going to look at some properties there. We're going to whiz through there kind of quick. We had to sign some documents because of our home sale. Then we're heading up to Croatia, and we're going to go into Dubrovnik and Split, and we're going to pick up a tag-along in Dubrovnik. My mom is flying in. She actually lives in Colombia, South America, so she's going to be coming in to Dubrovnik, and she's going to spend about a month with us, so we're going to take her with us through Dubrovnik up to Split, and then we're going to come back down to Montenegro so she can get some time there before she flies back out. And so we'll have a few quicker stays where normally we try to stay a month or to 3 months in places. You might see us hopscotching around a little bit, but they're familiar territories, so we'll be able to put more context into the time we're there because we're familiar with them.
And Marshall, thank you for giving Jane that information. We really appreciate it. As far as the video from Serbia where foreigners were able to get vaccinated, that did happen for a little bit. We weren't in that country at that time. But again, we haven't had that chance.
That stopped, but yeah, by the time we heard about that, we were actually in Ukraine. One of our viewers said, "Hey, you could have got that done in Serbia." So we're like, really? Nobody told us. Nobody knocked on our door. No. So, But I looked back and they did cease doing that, so that's not an option anymore. But for a small window of time, that was available.
And Lauren, how did we end up as travelers? We started in 2008, deciding that we wanted to figure out where in the world we were going to retire in the future. Oh, that was, sorry, very loud.
She was trying to jump into my lap. I tried to pick her up, and she wasn't too happy with that.
What we ended up doing, we started 2009. We went to Panama, and slowly every year we did some trip. And we determined that we couldn't figure out exactly what we wanted. We knew we wanted primarily Europe. And so we just couldn't figure out where exactly. We bought a house in Montenegro with a plan to be there in and out because it's out of the Schengen zone. And we knew that was a great investment. And that's really our backstory. We just had decided that we love to travel, and we figure it out. And once we figured out how to get a car, having the dogs wasn't going to be as big of a deal. So it worked out. Hopefully that answered what you were looking for. Lviv, Novi Sad, Montenegro. What's our favorite place? Alex.
We cannot answer that.
All of them have their own charms. I could live in any of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm from San Diego originally, and by the way, if I have any classmates out there, there's a bunch of them getting together for a reunion this weekend, actually tonight. So hello, any Lancers out there? I'm in Ukraine, so I won't be there tonight.
No, you won't.
But I'm from San Diego. Julie's from Louisiana. We lived all over the place. I've been to 48 states. We love America, but we love traveling, and we got out of the country and we traveled together, and we just fell in love with seeing the world.
Right.
So it was too hard to put the genie back in the bottle. We got too much to see that it was too hard to just say, let's sit here in the US. And we saw our opportunity to retire early, and since we couldn't just figure out which one country we wanted to live in, we just decided we would roam around and see what we would find.
Diana, we don't currently have residency in Montenegro. Have we visited Croatia and Slovenia? Yes, we've been to both. They're both gorgeous. Slovenia, Lake Bled is amazing. Croatia, we've been to Split and Dubrovnik, and we're actually heading back there next month.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall, let's see. Mohammed, come to the U.S. and get your vaccine, please. Too much work. We're not heading back to the U.S. right now.
We have to get dog sitters.
Yeah.
But I've got antibodies, and we probably need to get Julie checked. I'm sure she probably has them since she's been with me the entire way.
My dream is Prague on Christmas. We haven't been to Prague. We would like to see it, but right now it's so tough to travel in the EU that we're just doing our own thing elsewhere. 41 years in the Western world, plan on living the rest in the Balkans. Great plan. We love the Balkans.
Yes.
Do we still subscribe to our new rule? You know what? We did not follow through.
But we've had some really good Airbnbs.
We've been doing
lately.
great.
Yeah. And when we have an Airbnb that doesn't jive well, you'll hear about it on our channel. And we try to share with you where we're staying, and we obviously are paying more than the normal rent going through an Airbnb, but we're showing you that in case you want to come to the area and you want to rent where we've been, it gives you an idea of what it will cost, and if we like it, then maybe you'll like it.
Dodge the gab. Well done, guys. Thank you. Yeah, we tell you, Montenegro, I mean, gosh, you just can't go wrong. It's just gorgeous. To me, it is a small California. I love California. I didn't like the cost of living in California, but you literally can be at the ocean or the Adriatic in one morning and in the gorgeous mountains in the afternoon.
Ruby Tuesday, yes, you're one of our regular subscribers, seeing your comments out there. And I'm looking forward to you guys starting your travels and maybe starting a YouTube channel. And, I'll give you what little knowledge I have, because I have no knowledge. I'm just stumbling and bumbling as we go. And again, it's a hobby. For those of you that were here at the beginning when we tried to do the live feed from our schedule, you know that I didn't even know what I was doing there. So I'm glad we managed to get, was that 49 people here? Is that, I gotta put my glasses on
I think
to
it
see.
says 50. What is the internet like in Montenegro? We haven't had issues. We have a little mini mobile thing in our place, and it works fantastically, and it's not expensive. I've worked in Montenegro for 2 months, no issues. Fantastic, Nick. Thanks for answering.
Yep.
Yeah, we're trying to be relaxed on the live feed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different than doing this in where we're recording, but I guess this is more like what we would normally be, and it's.
Well,
we were more nervous about doing this than when doing videos.
Well, let me preface this that you say this. I did not want to do anything with YouTube ever, and Warren, this was something big for him. He was excited about it, and
she's about to hit me. I saw that.
So
Shut up, Warren.
So it took me kicking and screaming, and to be honest with you guys, the reason that I am now doing it with a smile on my face is because of you. I have gotten the kindest comments on these videos, and then on top of that, we have influenced people's lives, and to me, there is no better gift. So I have to tell you, that's why he doesn't have to make me or doesn't have to pull me along anymore, and I'm willing to help.
Yeah, you know, I had a colleague say to me, "What are you going to do with your free time if you're retiring early?" And I thought to myself, you know, I don't want to be in a rut when we decide we're going to travel that, hey, we're in Belgium, what's on Netflix? We're in Poland, what's on Netflix? Hey, we're in Croatia, what's on Netflix? I thought if we did a YouTube channel basically for family and friends, to show them where we were and what we were doing, it gives us a purpose to get out and explore and to talk to the waitress, find out, hey, where can we go? But it kind of took a few turns in life of its own, getting into the cost of living. We saw that people wanted to know about that. So we have our adventure videos and our cost of living, and I know most of you guys never watch our adventure videos because our cost of living ones get so many more views. And if we do an adventure video, it's like, okay, we get a few hundred or whatever, but we get, you know, a lot more interest in the cost
Where
of living.
are we now, Sea Dog Maximilian? We are in Lviv, Ukraine.
Yes.
Alex, thank you so much. It's so kind of you. Marcel, you're welcome. And Michael, let's see, no hiding now. I was shocked by the speed of the internet. You know what? You are correct. Novi Sad was fantastic with internet. We had absolutely no issues. My wife and I are considering roaming retirement in the Balkans. My gosh, you know what? You can't go wrong. We are so happy. Somebody wrote the other day that we look so healthy and happy, and we are. We absolutely love the Balkans. We love Eastern Europe, and we don't plan to stop staying in the area.
Yeah, Julie was mentioning about some of the people that we've impacted, which was not really why we started the YouTube channel, but it's been really interesting to have people reaching out and talking to us and letting us even know that, hey, we made these life-changing decisions to go here or do this or do that because of watching your videos. And that's really profound. I mean, we're not expecting that type of reaction. And since we know that there are people that are watching us and making decisions on this, we really take what we're trying to tell you seriously to inform you about the true prices and experiences and expectations so that you're not going to go out there and not have the right information or the right budget set up for you.
And just a little background on me, I'm an extreme germaphobe, so trying to travel in the beginning for me, for anybody who's out there who thinks, my gosh, I can't do this, you guys are brave, I could never be that person. Let me tell you what, you could ask my friends, they still can't believe how I've put that to the side and I'm out and I'm traveling and I'm doing things. And you know what, you seize the day, you get one time around and you just enjoy it. So
Smoking.
hospitality in the Balkans, I'm with you all the way. I love the people. Thank you, Marshall and Nadine. Smoking, oh my gosh.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. When I had COVID, and I haven't been able to really smell for a very long time. So the cigarette smoke, I barely even know it's there. When we were in Serbia, and we love Serbia, but we were outside quite often because we had the dogs. And over in Serbia, they do allow smoking inside, and Serbia is one of the higher smoking countries in the world. So there is a lot of smoking inside the restaurants, but when we're outside, we really don't see it, or I don't smell it. Obviously, she doesn't have as many problems with it outside, but she hates being around the cigarette smoke regardless. Here in, hey, I'm sorry, our dog's over there growling. I hope you don't hear it. She's looking outside and sees another dog at the park. But here in Ukraine and most of Europe, they have passed laws that you can't smoke inside. So most places are smoke-free indoors. And, you know, I'm not seeing that many people smoking in Ukraine.
No, they smoke, but there is quite a bit more vaping. So for the person who can smell it, it is not nearly as bad. I have not had any issues. And inside the establishments, you're not allowed to smoke. That's wonderful of Montenegro, Bulgaria, Serbia is not. They allow it, and Ukraine, Macedonia. We weren't there very long. And am I forgetting anybody? I don't think so. But so far, you know what? Ukraine has just been amazing about that. And Serbia, we love the place. I miss Shopska salad like crazy right now. But I
And
don't
there's some
miss.
good salads here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. Their Shopska there is amazing. If you've been to Serbia, you know it. In a comment we stated, yeah, you know, with the Stan countries, we haven't given a lot of thought. And where are we going to stay the winter? We're still in that thought process.
yeah, we are, we're going to be in Montenegro for a while when we go back the second time after we get done with Croatia. We're going to be there for at least a couple months, maybe 2.5 months. And we're considering whether or not and a lot of it depends on COVID situations, whether or
Yes.
not we can go to southern Italy or go to Greece or go to Cyprus. We haven't decided how we're going to really do the winter yet. We're discussing and
Right.
looking at all
Right.
kinds of opportunities.
It's funny how, you know what, Serbia to us, oh my gosh, I'd walk out there in Novi Sad by myself at night, no big deal. It was just beautiful. So yes, I agree with you. It's only in Hollywood.
Yeah, the Serbian people are so fantastic, and I will tell you that we have a lot of Serbian viewers on our channel, and they are some of the nicest people, and they really have a genuine concern to know about what the world thinks about them, and they're always trying to put their best foot forward and show you that
Agreed.
they are not what Hollywood or the news portrays. And you know, Serbia is a fantastic country to go visit. Belgrade is a beautiful, beautiful city with a great capital, nice areas. We focus a lot on Novi Sad, and I think Julie and I have kind of found our sweet spot in city size that we like. Seems like we like cities somewhere between the 300,000 to shy of 1 million size
Right.
cities.
And for us, that's the right size. It really is, as he said. So for us, Novi Sad it's full of life. It's so young. Now, that's not saying that Belgrade is not. Belgrade is amazing.
There's just plenty of restaurants, and
Oh my
there's
gosh.
so much history in Novi Sad, and it's easier to get around. You can get around by foot if necessary, and you know, in Belgrade it's a little bit larger and a little bit more chaotic, but it's got some really, really nice areas, and it's a beautiful city. But given my choice between the two, personally, we'd go towards Novi Sad. There's probably a lot of people that would go towards that bigger, more bustling city of Belgrade, and you know, there's people out there that want us to go to see Niš, which we haven't been to yet, and so that's on our hit list at some point to get to. But we definitely love Serbia.
Go south, young lady. Turkey calls. You know what? I want to see Turkey. Antalya, definitely. I'm dying to see the coast. There's a whole, oh my gosh, Istanbul. You talk about, I could spend quite a few months there.
We will get to Turkey at some point eventually as well.
Do we plan to get a permanent residency anywhere? We're thinking about it.
We know where we can, and that if we do a residency, we want to make sure, you know, we can still continue to do what we want to do.
Correct.
We really love Montenegro. The unfortunate thing is about the property residency is that we would be limited on how much time we can travel if we chose to do the residency there. We can do a corporation there, and most of the countries we go to, if it doesn't have a formal retirement scheme, if you're a retiree, you can do a corporation in most of them, which just basically means you make an LLC. You don't have to really make money.
Right.
In some cases, you'll have to pay like a minimum tax to the system. Like I think here in Ukraine, you have a minimum tax if you wanted to do that.
And as far as what country do we recommend for permanent residency, you know what, if you wanted to continue to travel, live in a great city, and I mean by continuing to travel where you could have a home base and you can go out as often as you want, it would be Ukraine. They have very few rules on that, so Ukraine would be my top list for there. Serbs, very welcome, absolutely. Oh my gosh, their food is to die for. Belgrade is, you know what, it is. I mean, Belgrade's an amazing place. Is it safe for a single female? Absolutely, in Montenegro. No doubt about
But
it.
is it, she asking about Montenegro or Belgrade? Oh, in Montenegro, okay, I see the next line.
Yes.
And let's see, find Chris and Marianne in Turkey. Okay, we will look for them.
Bosnia, yes.
Yeah, we like Bosnia.
Mostar.
Yeah, Mostar's beautiful, Sarajevo.
Yes.
That was our pre-YouTube travels.
Yes.
And we would definitely go back to Bosnia.
We would actually be going to Bosnia with his mother if it weren't for all these travel restrictions, all of the things that we're
Us
dealing
not
with.
being vaccinated.
Yes. It just makes life very difficult. Novi said English is widely spoken.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Surprisingly, which we're not surprised anymore, we just accept this, but which would be a shocker for a lot of people in America. If you go to Serbia, there are so many fluent English speakers there. They, in school, most students are taking this many years, and it's, and they take learning languages seriously there. And English is a bridge language for many countries in Europe, as well as around the world. So a lot of people use English as a secondary language. So English is somewhat easy to travel with. Ukraine's probably been a little bit more challenging than other countries, but there's a pretty good expat community here, and there's Ukrainians that are really working hard to work on their English too. So there's definitely people to help you and hold your hand along the way. But the Google Translator app has worked wonders for us.
If you watched my one of these cost of living, or I forgot which one it is we have, where I'm at the supermarket and things are just going from bad to worse for me. If you know how to read me, you can tell it was tough. I was frustrated. But again, it's just challenges, and English here is definitely not widely spoken, but it's just a challenge. It's actually a fun challenge. Thanks for loving our videos, and both of us. Hey, and as far as letting our property in Montenegro, we actually have a property manager, but I do have an idea of how to do that, and it's not too difficult to list your property and etc. But you do have to have someone to take care of turning it over.
And our property manager did more than that for us. So even when there was nobody there in the winter months, there was a fee that comes out where she takes care of making sure our place is taken care of as far as paying the taxes, the electric, and that everything is in functional order. So there's a regular monthly ongoing fee. But you could do a property manager if you were to buy a property and you wanted to let it out, and there's different people that can do that for you.
And as far as Plovdiv, the video, thanks for loving that. The thing about that is, that was actually a learning thing for us. We learned that if we're not living right there at the pedestrian zone, the city center, somewhere within walking distance, we don't get to explore the city as much. So you probably didn't get as much content from there as you have from Lviv.
I got hit with migraines when I was there too, so that limited some of the
also
the time.
Food poisoning.
But the as far as in Plovdiv, it has a really nice pedestrian zone and a lot of history there, and worth going to spend some time and check out. And I would tell you that if you are looking at retiring in any of these countries, and you're interested in multiple countries that Julie and I are reviewing, and if it's within your time or budget, I would recommend that you go and spend a month maybe in each country that you have an interest in or city and test drive it. Just don't pop in and say, well,
No.
Warren and Julie really like this, and this is going to be for me.
Correct.
I would recommend you spend a month anywhere and see if it is for you, and then
Spend a winter there.
a
summer there.
We love Lviv, but we haven't been here for winter.
No.
But I could definitely, I mean, if it stayed like this all the time, I would be, this is a great place all year
Yeah,
round.
it
but
actually needs to be cooler than right now.
well, but we haven't been here for winter.
And as far as, yes, your concern is very valid. If the world locks down so hard again, and frankly, it is right at that doorstep right now, and without a vaccination certificate, in some cases, we can't get into cafes, not here in Ukraine. Ukraine is open, it's wonderful, it's amazing. But the EU is locking everything. Does the health insurance plan we promote cover pre-existing?
And yes, in some cases or most cases, but it would depend on the policy. So I would just tell you there's a lot of different options out there, and take a look at the various programs. Now, as far as our particular selection, I will let you know that Julie and I, when we did our I Am Global policy, our policy will not cover us in the United States and a few other countries, and that cut the premium in half because we are covered in most of the countries we'll go to in Europe. But there's I don't remember some of the other countries.
Macau, Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, and the US.
Yeah, so you can really work with the types of policies, how much coverage you want,
Yes.
what kind of deductible, as well as what countries, some countries to exclude, which will bring your cost way down. And so we are, what, about 100 and what per month?
It's
She
185?
Yeah, she takes care of the monthly bills. I
185.
take care of the money coming in. So even though I'm doing the insurance stuff, she knows what's going out of the account.
Right. And Tim, which Balkan country speaks English the best? I have to tell you, it would be Serbia and Montenegro for me. Bulgaria, yeah, the grocery store, not so easy. I definitely would tell you Montenegro, and Montenegro to a point. You need to actually be in one of their more touristy areas. Once you're venturing out further into some of the villages, not so much.
What do we charge for our cleaning services? On our
They
rental?
charge for a turnover is what it's called. It's $60. Slow travel is the way to go. It's great.
We had a 3-day minimum on our stay, by the way, in our
Yes,
Airbnb.
we had to just because of that turnover.
Yeah, and that was kind of built into the rate, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I mean, we would never were renting our own place, so we let our property manager put it up there, and
Yep.
we just get to see the spreadsheet at the end of the year, and we hope that there's money in the account. So.
105 days of fire and smoke. I would be ready to zoom out of there too. You know, right now, Warren laughs. I am not loving heat by any means. I keep telling him he's got to find some seriously cold weather for me next year for this summer.
Well, we did go north, just not far enough north. Maybe we need to get up in the Arctic Circle.
But we
way
will
up in
say,
Norway.
we were actually talking to someone who was born and raised here, and they say that this is the hottest summer they have ever experienced. She's probably in her 20s, mid to somewhat 20s, and she says that normally it's 26 degrees Celsius is their highest, which is about 75, 76, I believe. So we're experiencing what feels like 93 to 98, and that is hot.
Yeah.
Are we thinking about getting a place in Serbia?
Well, I will tell you what, we
We
won't,
think of it a lot.
Yeah, we won't take that off the board. But we at this particular juncture, it's not what we're looking at doing. It may happen someday.
Warren loves the beach. So for him, the beach has got to be in his equation.
Yeah, the Adriatic is definitely a tipping point for me with Montenegro. The crystal clear waters there
Yeah.
in Montenegro, and it's such a gem of a place. And from an investment standpoint, it just seems to me that it's going to be such an up and coming country, and it's a good place, I think, long-term for holding a property.
Right,
Um,
right.
so
How are the winters in
nice.
Montenegro? You know what? We have been there for February, March, and frankly, 35 to
Yeah.
45 is what we experienced in that March. And then this last March,
but we actually had some days that were in the
60s.
mid-50s and
Yeah.
maybe lower 60s. But yes, it did get down into maybe below freezing at night. But we were also there for a very freakishly cold winter storm
We
that
were.
came through. So when we went, because you have mountains there, so when we went up into the hills a little bit above elevation from the coast, there was some snow falling, but
Correct.
it normally does not get down into the coastal area.
And Ruby Tuesday going up in elevation, let me tell you what. Every day on AccuWeather, I have looked so that I know for next year how is Sweden, how is everywhere I can imagine. And frankly, what has amazed me is Bilbao and areas around that in Spain have been the nice, cool temperatures that I seek. So going up for us, it's not an easy thing to do at this point. We had thought Poland, but as he mentioned, COVID restrictions. So we really have been, our hands have been tied a lot more than we ever dreamed
Hey,
they
Judd,
would.
if you're still here, he's in Krakow, Poland. He actually started a YouTube channel, and he stayed in our place in Montenegro. He was one of our viewers, and he was considering Montenegro as a place to live. But he's living in Krakow. So, Judd, if you're here, put in the name of your YouTube channel in there if you're still here. It's like from LA to Krakow or something, just so people can maybe find you if they're interested in more information on Krakow, Poland.
Well, if I was in Montenegro right now, I probably would have already been up in those mountains that you're mentioning. We're here in Ukraine, and we tried to do a lake, and the lake was cool and comfortable, but it was very, very full of people. So it's hot. It's a very hot summer everywhere. There's a massive heat wave that has hit Europe, and I actually think the US as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we've addressed everyone.
Yep. So, you guys, it was great doing this first live feed. I will tell you, it was very complicated on the computer, and I'm glad I was able to figure out how to get the phone going. I'm sure we lost some people on the regular feed, and I'm going to apologize to anybody that tried to jump in that way. But we definitely are glad that you're following us, and we don't know what the future is going to hold or where we're going to end up. COVID has dictated so much of our life over the last year and a half, and nothing has gone as planned.
Yeah.
And we've made so many plans and changed so many times our plans, but thank you for having an interest in what we're doing. And
Definitely, and we appreciate your comments. We appreciate everything. I've actually been in communication with someone that wanted to spend some time on the phone with us, and she and I are speaking back and forth. So I'm happy to, answer any kind of questions out there. You just need to send the emails.
Yep. Okay, so thanks everybody, and I guess I'll say have a good day. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And let me see if I can figure out how to turn this off. Let's see, we'll go there and